Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out with Frank Warren. Frank, we've just had the press conference to formally announce in the UK the fight between Tyson Fury and Tom Schwartz, or Schwartz. I'm not really sure how to say it since John Rawlin went with the Schwartz when we was up here. Why will this work as a showcase for Tyson Fury in the US? What makes Schwartz the ideal opponent for that?
I just think it's his first fight there. He had a great fight out there, as you know, with Deontay Wilder. It's his first out. He's looking for an undefeated fighter and somebody who's rated, and he fitted the bill. I think he's ranked number 2 by the BC, and he's ranked by one of the other organisations in their top 10. So that's why he was picked. He fancies the fight. I know they really do fancy it, and I think coincidentally, I hope I'm wrong on this, but he was 24-0, the same as Tyson was when he fought Klitschko, when they nobody give Tyson an earthly, and Tyson obviously went out to Germany and won the world title. This guy, they fancy the job. I think Tyson will beat him. I think Tyson is a class above all the heavyweights in the world, and this is really, for him, is a great opportunity to be on a platform that's the biggest sporting platform in the States. They've got 5 channels, ESPN out there. It's not just being a boxer and a sportsman. They're owned by Disney, and they'll be putting him on other shows and giving him exposure, which will build the Fury brand, which will, I believe, help and facilitate us to make the bigger fights for him.
Talking of the bigger fights, I think people will be more than willing to accept Schwartz as an opponent at this stage. It's his first fight since Wilder, and it is a showcase for the US audience on ESPN. What comes next if everything goes well against Schwartz?
Well, he'll be out again in the autumn if he comes through. No opponents have been discussed yet, so we'll see what happens with this one. And then he wants to be out. He wants to be busy, Tyson, so he'll be out in the autumn. And hopefully, whatever happens then, we'll set up a big fight for early next year with Deontay. Deontay's done a deal with signed a new deal with Showtime, having had a big offer made to him by DAZN. They've matched that, and they're giving him Brazil, and I think he's got another top 10 ranked fighter after that. So Tyson's going to keep busy, but keep as busy as Deontay's going to be, but he'll be on a much bigger platform, and hopefully by the time we make the fight, he'll be a bigger name.
Do you think there'll be a willingness on the Wilder side to come across to ESPN for the fight early next year?
Look, they'll go where the money is, and that's what it's all about. And sometimes, and it's not like we've not seen it before, where you've had 2 channels broadcast simultaneously in the States at a big fight if the public call, when the public call for it and people want to see it. So who knows that? But I think the fight will happen, and I think certainly it makes sense to be on ESPN because it's the bigger platform, and they've got a bigger penetration in the market.
Joshua and Wilder aside, who do you see as the big fights out there for Tyson Fury's future?
I think it's just a couple of fights, and then just getting to those, and then afterwards we've got these guys coming through in this country. We've got a lot of good heavyweights in the UK now, and there's some fights there to fight. Whoever becomes the winner of that, by the time they get their fights on, I think certainly in the case of the Dubois, the Gormans, the Joyces, and a few of the others out there, they're going to be around the mandatory, maybe even 1 or 2 of them may be mandatory opponents. So it's all sort of lining up for the future with these guys. The young kids coming through, and these guys, find out who's the best of the big boys.
So potentially next summer, if the Joshua fight doesn't happen, we could see Fury in a big domestic stadium fight against one of your heavyweights.
I'd love to see that happen. Yeah, I'd love to see that happen.
Brilliant. Well, so would we. So thanks for your time. Really appreciate it. Cheers. Cheers, Dave.